Teofimo Lopez finally responds to Lomachenko's shoulder excuses. And we're going to talk about it. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App, and the Patreon family. We working. Sign up for ESPN Plus below using my link. It does help the channel when you guys click on that link. ESPN Plus, they got a ton of original content, docu-series, documentaries, archive boxing, and UFC for your viewing pleasure. You can get ESPN Plus as a standalone app, or you can bundle it, ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus, all three apps, one low price of $12.99 for all three of those apps. Make sure you guys consider that, link in the description. Now, lightweight kingpin Teofimo has finally responded to Lomachenko's nonsense using the shoulder injury as an excuse, and that's exactly what it is. Lomachenko said he was healthy. He said he was ready to kick Teofimo's butt. He signed up for the fight. So after the fact, what's all this shenanigans about this, that, and that? And Teofimo was real big. He was huge. And I need to go back down to weight that we're hearing from either Team Loma or Lomachenko fans, the man fans. Teofimo on his Twitter account. Damn, they haven't verified him yet. Crazy. That's crazy. Twitter needs to verify that boy. That boy, he's a lightweight kingpin, and they ain't verified him. So he said, "Idols turn to rivals," which is a classic saying. Oh, somebody put that's funny. Let's get to some of these other ones. Make sure you guys smash the like button. We definitely working. Thank you, God, for everything. I'm thankful and grateful. All things are possible with God. You know, ask yourself, why not me instead? And here's the big one. Yesterday, this is what he said. Let me zoom in so you guys can really feel this. Y'all about to feel this. Teofimo Lopez posted in all caps, "Losers find," in all caps, "excuses. Winners find solutions." So from my point of view, this is definitely a sub and subliminal shot at Vasyl Lomachenko. Period. You know, it's really random to have put it otherwise. So I'm pretty sure he's saying he's a winner, and basically Lomachenko's a loser who's looking out for excuses, looking for a way out, a backdoor, a scapegoat, you know, a patsy, if you will. And I agree with the young up-and-comer Teofimo Lopez. I really do, because I feel Lomachenko, it's just he's going out bad. That's just, you know, I'm from the Bay, so that's what we say. He going out bad. Like, he lost, which happens. He's already lost before, so I don't understand why people are so surprised, and he can't come to grips with it. So him and his team are doing damage control, and when you lose like that convincingly and things, you know, there's nothing that needs to be said. We've seen that you try to pick it up around 8, 9, 10, you know, somewhere around there. You were picking up in some of them rounds, but even some of those rounds weren't convincing. Like, it was still highly competitive if you watch it back. So you tried, and you came up short. You were off to such a tortoise slow start that it was notoriously slow, and you dug yourself too big a hole, and you don't have your power set up like that, where a young kid who is in shape, who, you know, man on fire, wasn't going to be discouraged and deterred by your actions. So you were up against it because of that early hole that you dug. So it is loser talk, you know, for Lomachenko to be out there and his team. Like, bro, You can say, oh, it's not Lomachenko himself, but he's a party to it. This is your team. These are people you pay. These are your managers. These are your people. These are your teammates, and people who like. See, this is what we see in boxing. In boxing, you'll see when Aegis Clemens or a team member talks about, oh yeah, we signed the contract, and you see the interview on a boxing website. We're supposed to take that with a grain of salt. But then when it's something that negatively impacts the fighter and makes the fighter look bad, then all of a sudden people try to find a back door out and back off the block and say, oh, Loma didn't say that. It was his team. It was his team. You know, we're not playing this semantics game. You know, if we're supposed to listen to these team members who are a representation of your brand or an extension, then we got to listen to them. You know what I'm saying? So if your teammates are throwing out shoulder excuses and you ain't checking them, like, hey, don't do that. You know, I lost fair and square, boom, boom, boom. Then you're part of the problem, in my opinion. You're part of it. And Lomachenko on his second Loma Instagram, they posted videos of Lomachenko with stitches in his shoulder to confirm and prove that he has shoulder surgery. Listen, you could have shoulder surgery that is very non-intrusive and that'll have you out of commission for a small period of time where they just tighten up and fix some things. But to act like that was the reason you lost, you weren't even throwing any punches. You know what I'm saying? And then your shoulder hurt in round 2, so you didn't throw any punches. But then why did you throw punches in round 8, 9, or whatever? You know what I'm saying? If you were going to go for broke and say, hey, I'm going to fight through the pain, why did it take you so long? You know what I'm saying? Why didn't you make that decision in round 2? Say, hey, man, I picked up. And that's usually what you see in boxing. When you see somebody pick up an injury in the fight, it's like they're super alert because they know it's like, man, I can't get hit with nothing crazy. I got to bluff this. You know, I got to bluff this. My hand's broke or fractured, you know, giving me problems. So they bluff it. Lomachenko got 400 plus amateur fights and pro fights, but he don't got no bluff game. So I don't believe the whole shoulder ordeal. Teofimo also said, I'm my only competition, so I'm battling myself. You know, great outlook that Teofimo has. I can't wait to see what's next for him, if he stays at 35 or if he moves up to 140. But I wouldn't even give Lomachenko a rematch unless he earns it or something, because Lomachenko, he's just taking it. He's taking it bad. He's taking it like a poor sport, and we need less of that in boxing. You said you were gonna beat him, and you didn't. It happens. Now he the man, and his team putting out messages like, oh, if he's really big and bad, he would rematch us. But listen, this is more cap from Lomachenko's team. So you now want me to believe that they knew going into the fight that Lomachenko was injured. Just listen to what I'm about to say. I'm about to kick some gems for everybody listening. So I am to believe that Lomachenko had a very bad shoulder injury that was a lingering issue before the fight, and then he re-aggravated it in round 2. That's what they're claiming. So before the first bell rang, you had this injury that you carried into the fight, but you also didn't elect to have a rematch clause. So if you knew your shoulder was out of commission going into the fight and the negotiations stretched for a while, then why wouldn't you actually assign a rematch clause as a safeguard and a safety net, knowing you were walking on a tightrope between healthy and injured? That don't make sense. So your shoulder was messed up, but you're not going to take that precaution of putting a rematch clause in there. That shows me, if you didn't want to put no rematch clause in there, then that shows me that you felt you could beat him. So there are no excuses. If you didn't put a rematch clause and it's a championship fight where you were going to lose more belts than he would lose if you lost, because Lomachenko had more belts, and you didn't take that extra precaution like Wilder when he was fighting Fury, like, you know, most people, even fights with like Canelo versus Rocky Fielding, there's rematch clauses to fights like that. I don't think Canelo's team was afraid that he was going to lose to Rocky Fielding or Amir Khan, but I best believe there was a rematch clause in those contracts, you know, just on the off chance an injury or some technicality, because you could lose multiple ways. You could lose the first 4 rounds, like let's say Amir Khan and Canelo, and Amir Khan was losing the first 4 rounds, which he was. Canelo was losing the first 4 rounds versus Amir Khan, right? And then the nasty cut ended the fight. Then they go to the scorecards. That means Amir Khan would have won. You know what I mean? Because he didn't get knocked out until the 6th round. So there's all types of reasons where you would have a rematch clause, but Bob Arum specifically said he don't like doing rematch clauses, and Lomachenko's team didn't do a rematch clause. You know, he said he doesn't prefer to do it. You know why? Because they all thought Lomachenko was going to win. Bob Arum post-fight did an interview, and he said, I knew that Teofimo was good, but I didn't know he was that good. So if you didn't put this together, 2 and 2 equals 4. Bob Arum is telling you, I knew Teofimo was good, but I did not think he was that good, and you didn't put a rematch clause because you, quote, don't want to put a rematch clause in an important fight where Lomachenko was injured and he had a pre-existing injury. Then that's your bad. You thought that Teofimo was going to lose, and he proved all of y'all wrong. He didn't prove me wrong because I'm 𝗘𝗫𝗖𝗨𝗦𝗘𝗦. Period. That you just, all you got to do is do the math. Bob Arum says, I don't like doing rematch clauses. Lomachenko's team didn't press the issue and ask for a rematch clause. And then Arum later says, I knew Teofimo Lopez was good. He said he knew he was good, but I didn't think he was that good. Just Google it. Google that phrase and Bob Arum's name, and it should come up, right? I'm not going to babysit and spoon feed you guys. The information is on this World Wide Web, and Bob Arum said that. So that stipulates to me, he thought that Teofimo was good, but he wasn't ready to beat a Lomachenko because he didn't, quote, think he was that good. So that's your own failure. All y'all didn't think Teofimo was that good except for me and a handful of other people like Teofimo's pops. And then now when he gets beat up, Lomachenko get beat up. He got beat up. Then you want to act surprised. Then you want to, oh, look at his back. Oh, this man, he outweighed him. No, we've seen Floyd Mayweather beat many a bigger person, and they were looking eye level. You know, I've seen Rigondeaux. If you look at it, Rigondeaux versus Lomachenko was smaller in terms of a size differential than Teo and Loma. So no excuses. I agree with the young lad, Teofimo. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego, signing off.
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.